Hey guys, how are you? Happy 2021. This is the first YouTube video for the year, and I thought I would come on here and really come back to basics because I want to come back to the most important and powerful premise here when we're looking at mind body conditions, what we call TMS, tension myositis syndrome, which was coined by Dr. Sarno, or brain and nervous system disorders. Okay, now these things, as you know, can be a whole bunch of physical stuff in the body, from pains to sinus issues, to stomach problems, to fatigue, to migraines. There's a whole host of symptoms, probably 30 plus symptoms that you could have, maybe more. Basically, any symptom that the brain and nervous system can produce can be TMS, can be mind body. Now, the most important thing out of all this is to first rule out anything structural, to rule out anything pathological from, let's say, a bone, muscle, ligament, tendon, nerve issue. Okay, so this means an injury. This means something wrong with the joints, something wrong with the bones, something wrong with the muscles. Okay, a lot of times that stuff can be ruled out through seeing a doctor, getting testing done. Once that's ruled out, or they can't determine what's wrong, then you've got to move past the physical, meaning, or the local area, wherever the symptom is, whether it's in your head, whether it's in your back, in your knee, in your foot. The symptom doesn't matter, the cause is what matters. So if the cause is not localized structural injury, all right, then we have to move past that to get better. And when we do, what happens is when we understand that the brain and nervous system can cause the very same symptoms that localized injuries can cause, we need to be a detective to determine, is it local or is it centralized, meaning the brain and nervous system. When it's centralized, we are fine. This is the most important thing for you to understand, is that you are not damaged, you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with the architecture of the body with TMS. It's a signaling issue from the brain and nervous system. It's the messaging coming from your brain through your nerves into the different parts of your body. So when we're treating TMS, we actually don't want to treat it. This is the most important thing I want you guys to understand. If you have been diagnosed with TMS, or you've been ruled out the physical or structural with your condition, you're fine. I want that to seep in deeply into your soul, into your body, because when it happens, this is how you get better. This can be a big shift, aha moment for people, because when you come from this premise that there isn't anything structurally wrong, you want to stop treating yourself immediately. Meaning, whatever you do, you don't want to treat, fix, change what's happening because it's benign. That's the most powerful message you can send to your own body through your brain and nervous system, is that I'm okay. This means the game's over. This means the jig is up. It means you're not worrying about it anymore. You're not trying to do anything to fix it because there's nothing wrong. That's the most powerful message you can send to these other subconscious brain areas that are working off the premise that there is something wrong. There's something dangerous happening, something threatening going on. So I think this is the message that I want to bring to you guys for the new year, is that once you've been diagnosed with TMS or mind body disorder, or you've ruled out the physical, you've got to realize you're okay. When that can set in deeply into your system, that's how you're going to start to feel better. Okay, so that means the symptoms are okay. That means any emotion that comes up is okay. That means any thought that runs through your head is okay. We've got to come from this overarching premise, or we can call it perception or interpretation from this cortex, that the rest of the stuff happening is fine. That's what shifts and turns off these other centers of the brain and starts to send a different message to your body. You want to send a message to your body that you're fine. Okay, that's how people make big shifts in this work. They might read a book, or they see, let's say they used to see Dr. Sarno, or they see somebody that says, hey, you know what? I've looked at everything and there isn't anything here. There's nothing wrong with you. That can cause someone to immediately feel better. I've seen it so many times. We can take this with COVID too, because I've seen a handful of people who have COVID type symptoms and they're very worried, very concerned. They go get a test, the test comes back negative, and immediately the symptoms subside. So that is the brain making a shift from worrying and thinking that something is potentially wrong to realizing that there isn't. Okay, so it's a 180-degree shift I'm asking you guys to make, not based on faith or just blind belief, based on science, based on your condition, based on ruling out the physical. We need a full history. When I work with people, we look at your full history of when your symptoms started, how they started, how long you've had them, what has happened to you in the past, starting from childhood to now, your personality characteristics, if you have anxiety, if you worry a lot. We're going to look at all these components and put together a diagnosis. And from that diagnosis comes the treatment. And luckily enough, TMS is the best diagnosis you can get if you get a mind-body diagnosis, because it means that you're fine. There's nothing you need to do except to allow, open to, and embrace uncomfortable emotions, uncomfortable symptoms, uncomfortable thoughts. That's it. You don't have to do anything about them except be okay with those things when they come and embrace them instead of pushing them away, instead of trying to fix these things, stop these things, change these things. We don't want to do that. We're just trying to accept these things. Acceptance is the change. Okay, people flip it around. They want to change something, but acceptance is the change. Carl Jung said that. And I believe that's the way out. When you stop treating, 100% stop treating what's happening in yourself as being a problem or being something wrong or being something bad. So this is the message. I want to start the year off with this message, and I want to see where you're coming from in your own brains around your own symptoms. Let me know. And if you're still struggling and you're not sure if this is a mind-body disorder or it's a structural one, then feel free to reach out. I do an initial consultation on the first visit to try to put all the pieces together to see what's happening for you. And then from that point forward, if it's pretty clear that there isn't anything really pathological in your body or a localized injury, then we can move forward from a whole different perspective in your mind, in your brain. And it's that shift of perception that can cause a shift in your body. So Happy New Year, everybody. I'm hoping for a great 2021, and I'm going to be putting out more videos. You'll see them coming. And reach out with questions, reach out with any concerns. Hit me up if you want a consultation or need some coaching to go deeper into this. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.